ever noticed how heavy it feels when someone talks about the formative years and how far behind you they are? And what the heck am I going to do about that now? Not only as a person, but for me, I think the heaviest part of that is as a parent. So my kids' formative years are long gone. And I was so far from perfect, it's scary. So now what? So now what? Well, here's the thing about the formative years. We now live in a time that we know they don't end. The formation continues. You have an opportunity to continue to do better. You don't just give up and have that feeling of the heavy weight of my kids didn't have this opportunity, or I didn't do this right, or I didn't do that right. So let's not feel heavy. Let's move forward and understand, as I mentioned earlier in the year, and I really wanted to make the point that forget your New Year's resolution. I want you to have a daily resolution. How are you going to live? How are you going to form who you are on a daily basis, not some yearly dream? I'm Annie, trusted tour guide Annie, your guide for life's meaningful milestones. And as I'm here and as I've met people on this journey, I have found that a lot of what we go through is very similar. And certainly the concern with the formative years and looking back and how do I get out of this, it's a heavy thing to carry, but we got this. And I want to share one story that certainly can be expanded throughout our life. But this woman is such an inspiration to me, and I love the way her dad handled her when she was a kid. She happens to be, worth well north of $1 billion and is self-made. Her name is Sara Blakely, and she started Spanx. So unlike a lot of what we believe to be the perfect vision of our formative years, what her dad sought in her and her brother was not, well, did you get 100 on your test today? Was it perfect? Did you wear the perfect outfit? Are we the perfect family? But rather his question was, what did you fail at today? Because he knew that would teach her resilience and give her a willingness to try. Because that's what he sought every day in his kids. Not perfection, but willingness to grow and to create a formative sense that was malleable, and that people could change and grow regardless of where they started. Some start in a good spot, some start in another, but either way, he created in them an environment and a belief that success was not about meeting a certain milestone or looking a certain way or going to a certain accomplishment, if you will, or any of those things. And I'm sure, of course, those were important. Let's not be crazy. However, but what he said to them was, what did you fail at today? How brilliant is that? So if you want to look it up, that's Sara Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Huge inspiration to me. And so, I'm good at failing, so I figure, at some point, maybe I'll be perfectly formed. Anyway, so what I want you to take with you this week is, think about it. What self-forgiveness, what can you look back on in your life, either as a parent or as an individual or as a child yourself, and say, you know what, it wasn't perfect, but it's okay. And I can still get beyond it. Because what's really important to remember is that if you're still here on this planet, it's not over. You still have a job to do. You still can become the best that you can become. So again, this week, sit quietly, reflect, and choose a point of self-forgiveness. And remind yourself that if you're still here, it ain't over. Let's get after it. Let's be the best we can be. Let's find out what we can fail at this week. I'm sure I'll find many things. But you know what? I'm building my resilience. I look back on the times that I've failed before. I survived. I'm still here. I'm going to keep going. So get out there this week. Find some self-forgiveness. Find something to fail at. And let the formative years go. They're done. But the ones ahead, we can still affect. So I'll be here next Wednesday to walk with you. And in the meantime, keep walking toward what matters.